Jennifer Lopez has officially been pulled into Diddy's ongoing legal storm. No longer just someone in the background, but allegedly a key player in helping orchestrate his operation from within. New footage from a nightclub has surfaced, and now J-Lo is being called to testify in a federal RICO case that's already shaking the entire industry. Things are looking grim for her. What's wild is this totally contradicts her previous public statements. Remember when she was asked about the breakup with Diddy and she said it ended with a bang? Well, now that statement is hitting a little differently. Let's break this down. As you probably know by now, Diddy's trial is heating up, with Cassie Ventura taking center stage as the star witness. Her testimony has already cracked this case wide open. She's exposed everything, from abuse to shady financial trails. And now Jennifer's name is back in the mix. But she's not being portrayed as the victim she's painted herself to be for years. Reports and newly released receipts suggest J-Lo wasn't just around, she was deep in it. Honestly, it's not all that surprising. Her name has always hovered near this storm, even if she's stayed silent publicly.
For all we know, that bullet came from the gun that was in her hand. And not once has she spoken up for the betterment of that woman. Not once has she donated to her family or for her medical bills that she's still paying, or say something in her defense to stop Puffy from gaslighting her.
You remember Natanya, right? The woman who miraculously survived a 1999 club shooting allegedly involving Diddy? The same woman who's outlived several other witnesses who either vanished or went silent? Well, the bombshell now is that J-Lo was allegedly the one who brought the firearm into the club and handed it to Diddy. Yep, Jennifer Lopez. Not only that, she reportedly tossed the weapon once chaos broke out. That puts her squarely at the scene during the attempted cover-up. Law enforcement and witnesses were allegedly paid off, and J-Lo kept her mouth shut. Then and now. She stayed quiet through all of it, but that silence is about to catch up with her. She can't play the victim now. That kind of silence isn't survival, it's strategy. She's kept her distance, hoping her name wouldn't resurface. But with the feds compiling mountains of evidence and more surprise witnesses taking the stand, Jennifer is about to raise her right hand in court. But before we go deeper into J-Lo's role, we need to talk about Cassie, because the pattern is way too familiar. Cassie said in court that Diddy made her hold his arm when entering clubs. And fans recall J-Lo doing the exact same thing years ago, something she never called out. So, if she truly was a victim, why the silence? See, Cassie's bravery stands out. She's shared everything, even the details that could make her look complicit. She didn't hold back. She explained the environment, the pressure, and how that lifestyle blurred lines between control and love, fame, parties, fashion. When you're in that world, abuse can hide behind the glitz. And what makes J-Lo's part harder to excuse is that, unlike Cassie, she wasn't trapped. Cassie wasn't just romantically involved. She was under contract. A 10-album deal with Bad Boy Records. And guess how many albums came out of that? Just one. One. Let that sink in. That deal wasn't about music. It was about power and control. Natanya, who's been chasing justice since that 1999 shooting, said deals like that are basically entrapment. Modern-day slavery in a glittery package. Cassie was locked in. She couldn't escape, not without losing everything. Diddy owned her music, her income, even her movements. This wasn't a messy relationship. It was corporate abuse dressed as romance. And for the folks wondering why she didn't just walk away, she tried, several times. But each attempt led to violence. The abuse wasn't just emotional or financial. It was physical.
For those who like to stupidly comment, well, why didn't she leave? She said she didn't have the resources and she didn't feel safe to do so. In her own words, I understood Sean's capabilities, his access to guns, and the threats that he made prior to that.
Cassie said she knew how dangerous Diddy could be. She knew about his weapons, his reach, and the dark things he got away with. She'd seen it with her own eyes. He threatened her family. And remember that raid on Diddy's Miami mansion? Authorities found guns, adult items, and more, photos of which have since gone public. So when Cassie says she feared for her life, that's not paranoia, that's survival. Imagine being in a situation where leaving could mean harm to your loved ones. People think it's simple, just walk away. But when someone holds power, influence, and resources, the chains aren't always visible. It's psychological warfare. That's classic Stockholm Syndrome. Diddy made sure Cassie looked like she was living the dream. Red carpets, lavish parties. Who would believe she was suffering? To this day, some folks still call her bitter and money-hungry, even after that security footage leaked of Diddy physically attacking her. And here's where the RICO charges make things serious. This isn't just about being a bad boyfriend. The feds are charging racketeering. And for those who don't know, RICO stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. Basically, if someone uses a legitimate business to run a criminal operation, they're done. Diddy's businesses, his fashion lines, music label, liquor brands, are all under scrutiny. The feds don't need to prove every detail, just that crimes were committed under the umbrella of a legit business. And Diddy's empire? It's enormous. From Sean John to Bad Boy Records and beyond. Millions move through it, but if even one section was used for illegal activity, that's enough for a RICO takedown. Here's what's wild. Diddy's success could be his downfall. When you're the head of an empire, you can't play dumb. Especially not when you're allegedly involved in the crimes yourself.
So we've only had 1 week so far of testimony in P. Diddy's case, and I see a lot of comments online where people are jumping to conclusions that Diddy's going to be acquitted and the government isn't going to be able to prove their case. They're focusing too much on the DV. Where is the RICO? Hold on, you guys, okay? This is expected to be a 6 to 8 week long trial.
This trial is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. Prosecutors won't struggle to prove the empire existed. It's about showing what was happening inside it. If they expose the criminal acts, the entire business becomes evidence. That's how RICO works. It's not just the act, it's the system that supported it. So back to J-Lo. Let's be clear, she hasn't been charged yet, but the connections are undeniable. If witnesses confirm she helped enable anything, even unknowingly, things could get ugly. This is why her name is back in the headlines. Was she just a girlfriend or something more? It's long been accepted that she brought the firearm to that infamous club night. But what else did she see? And what has she kept hidden? We all see the direction this is heading. A huge question now is, did Diddy's romantic and business relationship with Cassie make things worse legally? Absolutely. Because the court isn't just talking about a toxic love story. This is coercion, power, threats, manipulation. Cassie couldn't release music unless she followed his rules. Rules that allegedly included sexual exploitation and control of her entire life. That's not a partnership. That's entrapment. She wasn't free. He allegedly stomped her in the face, dragged her back into his home after she tried to flee, and even forced her into a hotel because he couldn't look at her after hurting her. That's not just abuse. That's calculated cruelty. And in one disturbing instance, he allegedly showed up with his face covered, only his voice revealing his identity. If it's all legal, why hide? That's where the case gets dark. Sure, kinky behavior isn't illegal, but violence, force, and fear? That's criminal. And as the case builds, J-Lo is catching heat. Why the silence? If she was forced to carry that gun, why hasn't she said anything? It could support a coercion defense. Cassie even testified that Diddy used women to carry weapons because security often wouldn't search them thoroughly. So if that's true, J-Lo wasn't just nearby. She was part of it. And it gets worse. After the 1999 shooting, J-Lo allegedly tossed the gun out of the car window while they were fleeing. People are in jail for way less. But she walked away untouched. That's not coincidence. That's power and privilege. Yet another sign that J-Lo was more than just a bystander.
You had to be disturbed by a report in the New York paper yesterday.
Yeah.
It said an eyewitness along 8th Avenue as your car drove by saw a female hand throwing a gun out of the car.
Ridiculous. I don't even
You're the
want
only
to
female
it.
in the car. You don't want to talk about
Ridiculous.
it? You very confident that Puffy will be found innocent in this
Yes.
trial?
Yes, I will.
You going to testify?
If they need me.
But you haven't been
No,
asked
I
yet.
haven't been asked. So.
Let's not forget, during that 1999 case, the witness list got leaked to Diddy's legal team early, and witnesses mysteriously lost their memory. Bought off? Possibly. The system was compromised. But the feds have learned their lesson. This time, the witness list is tightly sealed. Diddy's defense team is being blindsided every day with new names taking the stand. And that says a lot about the reach of Diddy's alleged criminal operation.
So what the government is saying is that he didn't just commit crimes, he ran an entire enterprise that committed crimes. Bad Boy Records, for instance. And to prove that, the prosecutors have to show that there was a criminal enterprise, that crimes like trafficking, coercion, or money laundering happen regularly. Trying to blow up cars, right? And that Puffy didn't just help direct them, but he also may have benefited from them.
There's talk of money laundering, car bomb attempts, and more, all allegedly directed by Diddy, who also benefited from them. What once seemed like isolated scandals now looks like a massive, organized system. And at the center, Diddy. Cassie testified that he even choreographed the FO encounters. Cameras, outfits, scripts, like music video shoots. She was told what to say. This wasn't chaos. It was structured. Every victim tells the same story, same tactics. Now people are wondering if JLo saw it too. Or worse, was part of it. There's an old clip where she talks about her breakup with Diddy, saying it ended with a bang. Was she being literal? Because that club shooting was literal chaos. Her statement could be key in helping paint the full picture. Think of how Kate Moss was summoned in the Johnny Depp trial within 24 hours of being mentioned. JLo could be next. But if we're being real, she probably won't testify. Still, if she does, social media will explode. For now, her silence is loud, and too polished. If you knew someone that long and you were around during their chaos, say something, even if just to clear your name. Right now, it feels like JLo's protecting the brand, not telling the truth. And when so many women are coming forward, her silence feels not just safe, but shady. But then again, that's always been JLo. Silent unless it serves her.
People sitting here screaming out at the toll that the atrocities that Sean Combs has done to their lives, and you're trying to avoid your part in the story or the fact that you never spoke up. You know, you want to tell people on the low and put it out there that the movie was enough, was about you getting away from Puffy, but you didn't think about the trail of girls that you left behind.
Meanwhile, Diddy's baby mama has been showing up in court looking calm, but it's raising eyebrows. These women have all endured terrible treatment, but some are still showing up like they're in his corner. And there's proof. Misa Hilton, for example, was reportedly homeless not too long ago. From fashion stylists to riding trains. Why couldn't Diddy help her? His own ex-bodyguard even claimed Diddy once beat her so bad she hid under a car. And now she's back around him?
Got to be real scared, man. That's crazy. I know it ain't funny, but it's crazy. He was beating her till she ran up under the car, man.
Is it loyalty? Fear? Financial manipulation? JLo might be under the same spell. And it's not a good look.
What happens to Cassie if JLo had said something? The diddler back then. Would Cassie have ever been a victim? Answer me that. Because that situation happened in the late 90s. That situation happened before Aaliyah passed away, and Aaliyah passed away in 2001. He didn't get with Cassie until 2009, 15 years after he was with Jennifer. If she had to come forward about the that she suffered in a relationship with Sean Combs, Cassie would never have gone through what she's gone through. JLo being a stand bitch is Cassie not getting punted in a hallway.
In my view, this case is no longer just about Diddy or Cassie. It's about an industry culture where silence protects predators, where wealth equals immunity. And if JLo's role in this is finally being exposed, she's got a lot to answer for. She may have played both sides for years, but now accountability is coming for everyone. Cassie's bravery matters. The pattern is clear. And if JLo's name keeps popping up, the world may have to face some uncomfortable truths. This story's far from over. Stay tuned, thank you for tuning into Goja Gossip, and I'll catch you in the next one.